Hi friends, my name is Hemant Jadhav, HOD ANTC, ICM Engineering College, Aurangabad. In this video, we will discuss the design of different op-amp based circuits. Already I have told you that this subject ECT is based on many subjects of second year. As I told you, there are 6 chapters, chapter number 1 and 4. Chapter number 1 is design of DC regulated power supply. Chapter number 4 is design of the different circuits using different special ICs, that is based on second year subject EDC. Chapter number 2, that means design of op-amp based circuitry, is based on second year subject HSAD, high speed analog devices. Chapter number 3, that means signal conditioning, measurement of different physical quantities, temperature, pressure, etc., that depends on second year subject EMI. Chapter number 4, design of digital circuits, data acquisition system and etc., that is based on second year subject DLD. And last chapter, fifth chapter, that means the electronic system considerations, that is based on electronic workshop subject of second year. So before proceeding further for this subject, you should know the theoretical knowledge of second year subjects, which I have told you. So in this video we will discuss the design of op-amp based circuits. So as I told you, what is an operational amplifier in the previous video. So let us start from the basic of operational amplifier and then design of op-amp based circuits. So let us start with what is an operational amplifier. An operational amplifier is an integrated circuit. Integration means collection of different discrete components on a small single chip, silicon chip. So an operational amplifier is a directly coupled high gain differential amplifier that can amplify AC as well as DC signals. Initially it was designed to perform mathematical operations such as different mathematical operations on signals like integration, differentiation, log, anti-log amplifiers, addition, subtraction, summing amplifier, instrumentation amplifier, etc. That's why the name is given as an operational amplifier. So already you have studied the theoretical treatment of this operational amplifier in HSAD subject, though in a very few short time I will just revise it. This is the symbol of an operational amplifier. There are two terminals, inverting terminal, non-inverting terminal, plus VCC, minus VCC, dual power supply is applied. So any input signal applied at inverting terminal gets inverted at the output, and any input signal applied at non-inverting terminal appears as it is in the output. That means there is no phase shift when the input is applied to non-inverting terminal, and when the input is applied to inverting terminal there is 180-degree phase shift. Okay, so let us move further. What are different operational amplifier packages? As you know that op-amp is available in different packages: metal can package, DIP package, flat package. Here you can see the 8-pin metal can package with 8 pins, and it is made up of metal. Second, 8-pin DIP package, dual inline package. Pin number 1 and 5 are called as offset null. Pin number 2 inverting terminal, 3 non-inverting, 4 minus VCC, 6 output and 7 plus VCC. So out of 8 pins, only 7 pins are active, therefore the name is given as 7, number is given as 7. There are 4 input output pins, 2 plus minus VCC and 2 input pins, therefore 7 4, and 1 is output, as the number is given as 741. So what are different ICs apart from 741, like MC1741, CA3741, again high speed op-amp ICs like AD4001, AD4002, etc. N5741 made by Signetics, Fairchild, Signetics, Motorola. These are the manufacturers designations. Apart from this, there are different categories of op-amp like military grade, used for military applications, commercial grade for commercial application, industrial grade, etc. Again you can see here, if the number is mu A741 TC, that means mu A stands for this is the made by Fairchild company. Then 741 is the op-amp device type. Then T is the package, DIP package it is. C For commercial grade, that means the temperature range is from 0 degree Celsius to 75 degree Celsius. Again, you can take another example. MC is equal to 34001 PC. Here this MC is the manufacturer's designations, that means it is manufactured by Motorola company. 34001 is it is nothing but the op-amp number, and PC, P stands for plastic package, C stands for again commercial grade. Okay, let us move further. So in the exam the question can be asked like this: state the selection criteria for operational amplifier. So you have to write down what is you have to start from what is an operational amplifier. Apart from the basic parameters which you have studied in second year, like various input output offset currents, offset voltages, CMRR, common mode rejection ratio, slew rate, SR, PSRR, power supply rejection ratio, input impedance, output impedance. Apart from all these parameters, no doubt you have to consider all these parameters for the selection of operational amplifier. But apart from this, you have to consider many other parameters, like what is the power supply requirement of operational amplifier. So here the table given indicates different power supply ranges. Vs is supply voltage, greater than 5 volt, greater than equal to 16 volt, then 44 volt, and then plus minus 5 volt to plus minus 15 volt for high speed on dual supplies. So these are the design requirements and these are typical applications. So based on the applications, you have to select the operational amplifier which will work on the proper power supply, VCC, that means supply voltage. Okay, so let us move further. Then you have to select what type of the application you are selecting, for what type of application the operational amplifier. Depending on that, you have to select the operational amplifier, if it is for military grade, commercial grade, or industrial grade, and accordingly the temperature range will vary. If it is suppose commercial grade, the temperature range will vary from 0 degree Celsius to plus 75 degree Celsius. So this is the another parameter. Then you have to consider precision, means accuracy. What type of application, it will decide the accuracy and precision of operational amplifier. Then gain, bandwidth, product, then power dissipation or power requirement, then rail to rail performance, voltage, noise, input bias currents, slew rate, and decompensated amplifiers. So all these parameters, in addition to the basic parameters which already you have studied in second year, you have to consider for the selection of operational amplifier. Okay, so let us move further. Already you have studied characteristics of operational amplifier, which are also called as parameters or features of an op-amp. So here this table indicates ideal and practical values of different parameters of op-amp, like open loop gain. Ideal values, some of the parameters are infinite, like input impedance, bandwidth, CMRR, slew rate. All these values are infinite, you can see here, whereas the output impedance, offset current, offset voltage, PSRR, all these are 0. Okay, so you have to keep in mind this. Then if you consider for 741, the practical values are mentioned here, starting from the open loop voltage gain 10 to the power 5 to the PSRR, it is equal to 30 microvolt per volt, you can see in this table. Okay, so let us move further. You have to remember these formulas also. Common mode rejection ratio, you know that it is the ratio of ADM divided by ACM, that means differential mode gain to the common mode gain. As you know that it is the ratio of two similar quantities. There is no unit, but it can be expressed in decibels by using the formula which is known to you. It is 20 log to the base 10 ADM by ACM. If you want to express CMRR in decibels, you have to use this formula. So by simplifying this formula, you will get again it is 10 to the power CMRR by 20 is equal to ADM by ACM by raising both sides to the power of 10. Okay, so Basically, keep in mind the formula. CMRR in dB, it is equal to 20 log to the base 10 ADM by ACM, and you can rearrange further as shown here. Now slew rate is the rate of change of output voltage for a step input, or you can define in another words like this: it is the rate of change of output voltage with respect to time. So the unit is volts per microsecond. It is also known to you. Further, it can be rearranged. We can rearrange the formula like if VO is equal to Vm sin omega t, so slew rate is equal to d by dt Vm sin omega t, where VO, we have just kept the value of VO, output voltage VO, as Vm sin omega t, and we have taken its derivative, so it becomes equal to Vm dot W omega dot cos omega t, its derivative. So max, if we calculate the maximum value of slew rate, SR max is equal to d VO by dt max, it will be equal to omega m dot Vm, right? Because maximum value of cos omega t is 1. There are two values only, 0 and 1. So maximum value of cos omega t is 1. That's why dVO by dt max is equal to omega m into Vm, where what is Vm is the maximum value of voltage. And we know that omega m is nothing but equal to 2 pi Fm. Fm is the frequency. So you can write it down as 2 pi Fm into Vm. Again Fm is equal to 1 by t. Therefore 2 pi Vm by t. So you just keep this formula in mind, that SR max is equal to 2 pi Fm into Vm, or it is equal to 2 pi Vm by t. Maybe a simple problem can be asked based on this, based on the formula of CMRR and based on the formula of slew rate. Okay. Now the next point we are going to discuss is different applications of op-amp. As we know that there are two categories: non-linear applications and linear applications of op-amp. Non-linear applications are the applications with open loop, that means no feedback, and closed loop applications are the applications with a feedback. Feedback means that fraction of output signal is applied to the input, output is connected to the input, that is called as a closed loop configuration, and these applications comes under the category linear applications of op-amp. Okay. Then non-linear means there is no feedback. As we know that in all types of amplifiers there is a negative feedback, and in all type of oscillators there is a positive feedback. Always keep in mind this. Okay. So here in your syllabus it is mentioned that you have to solve the problems based on op-amp applications. Theoretical treatment is not expected here. Already you have studied theoretically what is that circuit, but in the exam the derivation can be asked, derivation for output voltage or derivation for the gain, it can be asked in the exam. So let us have the circuit design one by one. So very first application of op-amp is design of closed loop inverting amplifier. So basically what is an inverting amplifier is known to you: the circuit of operational amplifier in which output voltage is inversion of the input voltage, output signal is the inversion of the input signal, that is called as an inverting amplifier. Okay. So VO is proportional to minus of Vin, that negative sign indicates it is an inverting amplifier. So as it can be seen from this circuit diagram, the input signal is applied to which terminal? To the inverting input terminal, and non-inverting input terminal is grounded. There is a feedback resistor through which IF is the current flowing. R1 is the input resistor through which I1 is the current flowing. IB1, IB2 are the two bias currents flowing through the two input terminals of op-amp. V1 is the voltage present at non-inverting terminal, and V2 is the voltage present at inverting input terminal. V in is the input voltage applied to the inverting input terminal. So you can see the nomenclature given here. So this derivation can be asked in the exam. equation for the gain of inverting amplifier and non-inverting amplifier. So what is the first step? As usual, apply KCL at node V2. You can apply KCL at node V2. Now find out where is the node V2. You can see in the circuit diagram. Here it is node V2. There are 3 branches. So summation of incoming currents is equal to summation of outgoing currents. 3 branches are there: I1, IB2 and IF. So apply KCL at this node V2. You will get the equation I1 is equal to IB2 plus IF, equation number 1. Now we know that IB2 and IB1 both are equal to 0, because in an ideal operational amplifier, because of infinite input impedance, the input currents are is equal to 0. So I1 is equal to IF. You will get this equation. Just convert these equations, current equations, into voltage form. So instead of I1, you can write down V in minus V2 divided by R1. How? Because I1 is the current flowing through resistor R1 and the direction of current is from V in to V2. Therefore I1 is equal to V in minus V2 divided by R1. Similarly, you can write down the equation for IF also. IF is the current flowing through resistor RF and the direction of current is from V2 to VO. That's why V2 minus VO divided by RF. So by converting current equation into voltage form, now you have to apply the virtual ground concept. As you know that there are two concepts, virtual ground concept and virtual short concept. What is virtual ground concept? Virtual ground concept is that in an ideal operational amplifier, if one terminal, particularly the positive, that means non-inverting terminal, is grounded, another terminal is also virtually grounded. If non-inverting terminal is grounded, that means connected to ground or it is equal to 0, the another terminal, inverting terminal, is also virtually grounded, that means same voltage is present at that another terminal also. To get delta VID, that means difference input voltage, is equal to 0. Okay, you can see the circuit diagram again to understand the virtual ground concept. Here, if one terminal, that means this positive terminal, is connected to ground, that means V1 is equal to 0 because it is connected to ground. V2 is also considered as it is connected to the virtually to the ground. That means, so that the difference input voltage, that means VID, delta VID, is equal to 0 for an ideal operational amplifier. Delta VID will be equal to 0 only when there will be the equal voltage at the two terminals of op-amp. Okay, so this is called as virtual ground concept. So let us apply this concept. Already this concept you have studied in second year. That means if V1 is equal to 0, V2 is also equal to 0 because of what? Virtual ground concept. So by keeping these values V1, V2 is equal to 0, you will get VO by Vin is equal to minus R1 by RF. Vin by VO is equal to minus R1 by RF. And you can rearrange this. VO by Vin is equal to minus RF by R1. VO by Vin is nothing but output upon input, is nothing but gain. And finally, you will get the equation for gain of inverting amplifier. It is equal to minus RF by R1. AF is equal to minus RF by R1. Okay. So this formula you have to keep in mind. The negative sign indicates that it is an inverting amplifier. Let us solve some problems based on it. Number 1, design an amplifier with a gain of minus 10 and input resistance equal to 10 kilo ohm. So before solving any problem, the first step is list out what is given. So what is given in this problem? The gain value, and it is negative value is given. So minus 10, AF is equal to minus 10 is given in this problem, and the value of input resistor, it is given as 10 kilo ohm. R1 is given as 10 kilo ohm. So you just have to calculate the value of RF. Designing of any circuit means calculating the values of unknown components. Here by default the operational amplifier op-amp IC is IC741. Just you have to calculate the value of R1 and RF. R1 is given, you have to calculate the value of RF. So second step, just listing out given. After that, the second step, write down the formula, keep the values and calculate the value of RF, you will get it as 100 kilo ohm. And last step, don't forget to draw the circuit diagram with all component values. Here R1 is equal to 10 kilo ohm, it is mentioned. RF is equal to 100 kilo ohm, plus VCC minus VCC, Vin, VO, etc. It's very simple. Second question, design an inverting amplifier with a voltage gain of minus 30 and feedback resistor of 1 mega ohm. Now feedback resistor value is given. Follow the same procedure and calculate the value of R1 here, because RF is given, you have to calculate the value of R1. And in the last step, don't forget to draw the circuit diagram with all component values, mentioning the values of all components. Okay, move further. An inverting amplifier has RF is equal to 500 kilo ohm, R1 5 kilo ohm. Determine the voltage gain of output voltage, gain, the output voltage and the input current if the input voltage is 100 millivolt. Okay, again list out what is given. RF 500 kilo ohm, R1 5 kilo ohm, Vin is equal to 100 millivolt. Then what is asked? AF, that means feedback gain, is its value, VO and I in. Okay, so we know the formula for gain of inverting amplifier. AF is equal to minus RF by R1. Keeping the formula, you will get the value for gain, it is equal to minus 100, right? So by using the same formula, you can calculate the output voltage, because AF is equal to VO by Vin. So you will get the value of output voltage which was asked in the problem. Also, I in is nothing but Vin by R in. By using this basic formula, you will get the value of I in is equal to 0.02 milliampere. And finally, you should draw the circuit diagram. Okay, here I have not drawn it, you have to draw this in exam. Next, design an inverting op-amp circuit with voltage gain of minus 8. When the input voltage is 1 volt, the maximum current in R1 and RF must be no longer than 15 microampere. Determine the minimum value of R1 and RF. Okay, so step 1, what is given, you have to write it down. What is asked? It is asked to calculate the values of R1 and RF. Okay, so basic formula you are having, I in is equal to V in, I is equal to V upon R. Input current is equal to input voltage divided by input resistance. Based on this, you can calculate the value of R1. You will get it as 61 kilo ohm. Then using the another formula of gain, AF is equal to minus RF by R1. So by using this, you will get the value of RF as 560 kilo ohm. Okay, final step, don't forget to draw the circuit diagram with all component values. Similarly, you can solve this question number 5, in which what is given, this is little bit different one. A typical op amp has a differential gain of 20,000. The typical value of CMRR is 90 dB. What will be the typical value of common mode gain for the device? Also calculate the maximum frequency of operation if the input is 3 volt peak to peak and slew rate is 0.5 volts per microsecond. Okay, so here ADM, that means the value of differential mode gain, it is given as 20,000. Common mode rejection is given as 90 dB. It is asked to calculate the value of ACM, common mode gain. Okay, CMRR is given as 90 dB. VPP is 3 volt, VM is equal to VPP and a peak to peak voltage is given. So based on that, you can calculate VM or VP. Peak voltage is VPP divided by 2, it is 1.5 volt, and slew rate is given, and FM, maximum frequency, is asked, frequency of operation is also asked to calculate. So we are having the formula as I told you, CMRR in dB is equal to 20 log to the base 10 ADM by ACM, which can be further modified as CMRR by 20 log in bracket ADM by ACM. Raising both sides to the power of 10, you will get this formula. Keeping the values, you will get the answer of ACM as 0.632. Okay, by solving this and simplifying this. We are also having another formula for slew rate, 2 pi FM into VM. So it is asked in the problem to calculate the value of FM. So rearranging the terms, you will get the formula for FM, it is equal to SR by 2 pi into FM. Keeping all the values here, you will get the answer for FM as 53.07 kilohertz. Okay, so this is little bit different problem, it can be asked in the exam. Let us move to the next application of op amp, design of non-inverting amplifier. So what is the difference between previous circuit and this circuit is, here the input signal is applied to non-inverting terminal. You can see, you can observe here, input signal is applied to non-inverting terminal, inverting terminal is grounded, R1 the input resistance, RF is the feedback resistance. Now you should point out that the current direction is reversed now, IF and I1, that is towards the ground. Okay, so in the exam the derivation for gain of non-inverting amplifier can be asked. The procedure is same again. Apply KCL at node V2. Where is the node V2? You can find out here. Node V2 is here. There are three branches, I1, IB2 and IF. So applying KCL, you will get I1, IF is equal to I1 plus IB2, IB2 is equal to 0, IF is equal to I1. Therefore converting this IF and I1 into voltage form, so IF is the current flowing through RF from VO to V2, therefore VO minus V2 divided by RF, and I1 is equal to, it is the current flowing through R1 from V2 to the ground, therefore V2 minus 0 divided by R1. Okay, so now apply here virtual short concept, not virtual ground, virtual short. Why virtual short? Because here V1 is equal to V in previous case V1 was equal to 0, it was connected to ground. Here V1 is connected to Vin, therefore V2 is also equal to Vin. Whatever may be the voltage at non-inverting terminal, that same voltage is present at the inverting terminal. It is called as virtual short concept. Okay, so applying this concept, you can you will get the equation as VO by Vin is equal to RF in bracket RF plus R1 divided by R1 plus RF. VO by Vin is nothing but AF, that is output upon input gain, and rearranging the term, finally you will get AF is equal to 1 plus RF by R1. This is the final equation of gain of non-inverting amplifier. AF is equal to 1 plus RF by R1. Okay, so there is no negative sign. Let us solve the problems. Design an amplifier with gain of 61 and input impedance of 1 kilo ohm. So given AF is equal to 61, R1 is equal to 1 kilo ohm, RF is equal to what? Design करना है मतलब you have to calculate the values of unknown parameters. So using the same formula, AF is equal to 1 plus RF by R1. R1 is given in the problem, so it is equal to 1 kilo ohm. So finally you will get the value of RF as 62 kilo ohm. Okay, don't forget to draw the circuit diagram at the last with the component values, as R1 is equal to 1 kilo ohm, RF is equal to 62 kilo ohm, etc. Okay, second problem, design an amplifier with gain of plus 5. Same here, the gain is given as, AF is given as 5 volt. The resistors value R1 and RF are not given, so both are unknown, therefore you just have to assume any one value. You can assume R1 as 10 kilo ohm, or you can assume RF as 10 kilo ohm, whatever it may be. So by assuming R1 is equal to 10 kilo ohm, you will get the value of RF as 40 kilo ohm. Okay, and finally draw the circuit diagram with all component values. Next problem, in a non-inverting amplifier, R1 equal to 5 kilo ohm, R1 is equal to 20 kilo ohm, Vin is given as 1 volt, load resistor of 5 kilo ohm which is connected at the last to the output terminal as shown in the diagram. So it is asked to calculate VO, ACL, IL, and fourth the input current I1. So step 1, what is given? Just write down R1, RF, RL and Vin is given. So use the basic formulas. VO by Vin is the gain, AF is equal to 1 plus RF by R1. So R1 is given, RF is given, so you will get this gain value, or VO by Vin is equal to 5. So from that you can calculate VO, as Vin is given 1 volt, so calculate VO is equal to 5 volt. you know the formula for ACL, closed loop gain, is nothing but AF is VO by Vin, having the formula 1 plus RF by R1. So you will get ACL is equal to 5. RF is given, R1 is given, you can calculate it. Load current IL is equal to VO upon RL, output voltage. This is the basic formula. I is equal to V upon R. So IL is the load current, therefore VO is the output voltage and RL is the load resistor. Keeping the values, you will get the value of IL as 1 milliampere. Okay. Similarly, I1 or I in is equal to V in by R1. So input current is equal to input voltage divided by input resistance. So you will get, keeping the values after, you will get I1 is equal to 0.2 milliampere. Coming to the next application, I to V converter, current to voltage converter. Okay. So the circuit of op amp, in which the input current, at the input side there is a current source and at the output side there is a voltage. So the circuit of op amp in which the input current is converted to proportional output voltage, or vice versa, you can say VO is proportional to I in or IS, that is called as I to V converter. Input current is converted to output voltage. Okay. In many applications, the output of many sensors or transducers, it is in the form of current, like photodiodes, photovoltaic cell, photo sensors, and these devices need so as to display its reading on the display, it should be converted into voltage form. Therefore the output of such transducer is converted into voltage form by using I to V converters. Okay. So you should know the formula for I to V converter, output voltage or gain formula, to solve the problem. So again the procedure is same. Apply KCL at node V2. Where is the node V2? You can see here V2. So input current IB2 and then IF are the three currents, therefore IS is equal to IB2 plus IF. Now IB2 is equal to 0 as usual. So keeping IS as it is, converting IF into voltage form, IF is the current flowing through RF, so it is equal to V2 minus VO divided by RF. So finally you will get VO is proportional to IS, because RF is constant and that negative sign indicates it is an inverting I to V converter. Inverting. Okay. So what are the design steps? Step number 1, list out the given parameters. Step number 2, calculation of RS and RF using VO is equal to minus IS into RF formula. Just we have calculated it. Draw the circuit diagram with all component values. Okay. Solve the problem. Design a current to voltage converter to provide an output voltage of minus 10 volt. Assume an input current source of 100 microampere and source resistance is equal to the feedback resistance. So what is given? Given VO is given as 10 volt, IS is equal to 100 microampere and source resistance is equal to feedback resistance, RS is equal to RF. Okay. So formula is known to you. VO is equal to IS minus IS into RF into IS. Okay. So RF is equal to minus VO by IS, minus VO is given as minus 10 and IS is equal to 100 microampere. So you will get the value of RF as 100 kilo ohm. Now it is given in the problem RS is equal to RF, therefore RS is also equal to same value 100 kilo ohm. Last step, draw the circuit diagram with all component values, RS, RF. Here RS is in parallel with IS, because you know that in a current source the source resistance is always connected in parallel with the current source, and in voltage source, if it is voltage source, the source resistance is in series with the voltage source. Okay. Next one, I to V converter, same problem with what is given here. It is 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 given, RF is given and VO is given. So here the relationship is given as RF is equal to twice of RS. So RF is 100 kilo ohm and you can calculate accordingly RS as RF by 2. By using this relation you will get it as 50 kilo ohm. RS is equal to 50 kilo ohm. Finally draw the circuit diagram with all component values. But this is the non-inverting configuration because the output voltage is given as plus 20 volt. Okay, so from the given value of output voltage, it is non-inverting I to V converter. In previous case, the output voltage given was minus 10 volt. That's why it was inverting I to V converter. Next application is voltage to current converter, V to I. Exactly opposite of that, input signal is a voltage and output signal is a current, right? So IL is proportional to V in. The circuit of operational amplifier in which in which the output current or load current is proportional to applied input voltage. There are two types of V2I converter: V2I converter with floating load, V2I converter with grounded load. Okay, so here you can see the first circuit, floating load, V2I converter with floating load. So this resistor is considered as a load, feedback resistor is considered as a load here, and it is not connected to the ground. Both terminals are connected between pin number 2 and 6. It is acting as a floating load. That's why the name is given as floating load I to V converter. So just calculate the formula for load current by following the same procedure. Apply KCL at V2, you will get the current equation, keeping the load current as it is because we want this in the output term, output equation. So converting I1 into the voltage form, V in minus V2 divided by R1. If V1 is equal to 0, V2 is also equal to 0 by virtual ground concept. And finally you will get the equation IL is equal to V in upon R1. That means I1 by R1 is constant, so IL is proportional to V in. Okay, so what are the design steps? List out the given parameters and calculate the value of R1 and RF. Second one configuration is V2I converter with grounded load. Now we can see this is the circuit diagram in which the RL is connected to the ground. This resistor is considered as load and which is connected to ground. That's why it is called as grounded load. So IB1, IB2 are the two bias currents. V1 is the voltage present at this point here. V2 is the voltage at this point. All the resistors are having same value, R, same values. I1 is the current flowing through this resistor, I2 is the current flowing through this another resistor, IL is the current flowing through RL. So you can describe the circuit. Then as usual apply KCL at node V1. Where is the node V1? Node V1 is the junction of this junction where three resistors are two R resistors, you can say R1, R2 and one RL. Okay, so it becomes I1 plus I2 is equal to IL plus IB1. Four branches are there. IB1 is equal to 0 for ideal operational amplifier, so equation becomes I1 plus I2 is equal to IL. We want this IL in the final equation, therefore we will keep it as it is. We will convert I1 and I2. So this is I1, V1 minus V in minus V1 by R, and this is the value of I2, VO minus V1 divided by R, by referring the circuit diagram. So simplifying this, you will get the equation for V1, equation number 2. Now gain of non-inverting amplifier, you know the formula, basic formula, A is equal to 1 plus RF by R1. So in this circuit, R1 is equal to RF is equal to R, therefore gain value becomes equal to 2. So A is again we have VO by V in, output upon input. So VO is nothing but A into V in, where V in is nothing but V1. You can see the circuit diagram. V in is the voltage applied at node V1, same voltage will be at node V1. So here we have calculated the value of gain as 2. So VO will become equal twice of V1, equation number 4. Keeping this value of V1 from equation 2 in the equation 3. So here you will get VO is equal to A into this bracket This is nothing but V1. Okay, so V1 from equation number 2. Keeping the value of A is equal to 2, so 2 to get cancelled, and finally you will get IL is equal to V in by R, as 1 by R is constant, so you will get IL is proportional to V in. Output current is proportional to the input voltage. That's why it is called as V to I converter. Let us solve the problem. In the circuit shown below, V in is equal to 5 volt, R is equal to 10 kilo ohm, V1 is equal to 1 volt. Find number 1, the load current IL. Second, the output voltage VO. Okay, and third, find voltage compliance if Vsat is equal to 3 volt. Okay, so first step is what is given. List out the given parameters here: V in, R, V1, IL, VO and IL you have to calculate. So we have R1 equal to R2 equal to R3 is equal to R4 is equal to R. All resistors are having same values. IL is equal to V in by R, the formula. From that you can get the value of IL, and you have VO is equal to twice of V1. So this formula keep in mind. So you will get VO is equal to 2 volt. Again the voltage compliance is asked. So the formula for voltage compliance is V1. It is by using the potential divider formed by R1 and R2. Voltage divider rule. As per voltage divider rule, V1 is the voltage which depends on the value of resistor R1 and R2, and saturation voltage means output voltage is R1. V1 is equal to R1 by R1 plus R2 into Vsat. Okay, so the combination becomes 10 by 20, and Vsat is 3 volt. Vsat is given in the problem, so we will get it as 1.5 volt. Next one, design a grounded load V2I converter for an output current of 100 milliampere. In the previous problem it was asked in the circuit shown below. The circuit was given, the circuit was grounded load circuit. Here in the problem it is mentioned design a grounded load V2I converter for an output current of 100 milliampere if VO is equal to 4 volt. So given IL is given, VO is given, right? Then for grounded load V2I converter, gain is equal to 1. So we have the formula I is equal to V in upon R. R is equal to, we can rearrange the formula. After rearranging the formula, you will get V in is equal to 2 volt, because in grounded load V2I converter A is equal to 1 plus R by R, so gain value is equal to 2. So now keeping the value of V in from equation 2 into equation 1, so you will get the value of R is equal to 20 ohm. And finally draw the circuit diagram of grounded load. You can calculate the value of RL by using the basic formula VO upon IL, so you will get it as 50 ohm. Mention all the values. All resistors are having equal values, so all R is equal to 20 ohm, RL is equal to 40 ohm, and that input voltage V in is 2 volt, output voltage is 4 volt. So everything is mentioned in the circuit diagram. Next, design V2I converter to provide an output current of 100 microampere if Vs equal to 10 volt and Rf equal to 2 twice of R1. Okay, so given IL, Vs and Rf is given. By using the standard formula IL is equal to V in by R1, you can calculate the value of R1. Because Vs is given, IL is given, RL will be equal to 100 kilo ohm. It is given that in the problem Rf is equal to twice of R1, therefore Rf will be equal to 200 kilo ohm. In the circuit diagram mention all the values. Okay, here in the problem it is not mentioned that whether to design grounded load or floating load V2I converter, or it is not mentioned, so go for floating load V2I converter. whenever it is not mentioned in the problem. Okay, this is what about the design of various applications of op-amp, linear applications of op-amp. So that's all up to this video. In the next video we will see the design of instrumentation amplifier and other circuits. Thank you.